Thank you. Those who didn't register yet, please go to Stephanie and register so we can start as soon as possible. Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, dear Vienna NGOC members, we will start with our meeting. Thanks for coming in a quite good number. So I know we are all very busy with all side events, launch-ons, and different interventions, also at plenary, but still um, we are able to come together in a big number. So thank you very much for your attendance today. Before we officially start with AGM, so AGM still uh, is not starting yet because we have one issue to deal with and address with membership. For those who don't know, we received several complaints from one of our members, and we provided also already feedback, and we organized also a meeting with them to discuss potential solutions out of this situation. And we as a board, we recognize and sincerely apologize for the oversight in not sending an official email notification regarding the General Assembly. That's written in the statute. So we should send an email announcement of the AGM by email, and we didn't do it. However, we would like to note that the General Assembly was officially announced during an online informal membership meeting on December 19th, 2024, which is very early. It's not only 4 weeks before the AGM, but even earlier, where members were also informed about the nomination process for the 2025 board election, and recording of this meeting is available as documentation. Following this, the call for nominations for free board positions was published with the deadline for applications set for February 12, 2025. Due to an insufficient number of applications for one position, the nominations committee decided to extend the deadline until February 25, 2025 for this position only. So to ensure continued transparency, we propose, before we start with the General Assembly, to give the floor to the members an opportunity to vote by show of hand on whether to proceed with the Assembly as planned or to postpone it. As the General Assembly holds the highest decision-making authority within Vienna NGOC, the outcome of this vote should be final. But before we vote, I would like to give the floor maybe to some of members who are aware of this situation, to maybe address other members, to explain a little bit your perspectives about this, for or against these solutions. So now I give the floor to members. Who was first? George, first?
First of all, I think being that this is a decision-making meeting, it will make no sense that people have traveled far and wide to come attend a meeting and then it's being postponed. That is like wastage of resources. And finding these people again will be very difficult. And I think after every AGM, we usually have a room to communicate that there will be another meeting. So if it was communicated, well documented, I don't think there is need to postpone the meeting. So long as the quorum is there and we are able to move forward, we can just move with the quorum that is available. That is my take.
Okay, thank you very much. Just for the record, AGM could also be possible online, so it's not. But I agree. It's relevant argument. So who else want to address? John, yes, please.
I don't know the rules specifically, or I assume that the Vngoc is under the laws of Austria. So my question would be, if, has a lawyer looked it over? Because anytime I have a problem in my organization in regards to specific legal stuff, I just asked our corporate attorney. So I would say, just a question, was somebody like that consulted? And it seems to me that if there's any question that it's not correct procedurally or by the law, then I would certainly not want to see a long drawn out illegitimacy question. So that's really my only thing. I'm not saying whether it should stay or whether we should vote today or a month or two from now. I just think that proceeding forward would just make darn sure that we're doing the right thing procedurally and legally. Thank you.
Thank you, John. As far as I understand, it's also according to the Austrian law is pretty much our internal issue, because in the statute it is written that we should then establish a kind of arbitrary body to discuss and decide about this decision. So I think that's not there's not so much to do with the Austrian courts or having big legal costs. But thank you very much for your concerns, Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I don't think anyone has the bandwidth or resources for legal stuff. I think if there's a minor procedural date issue, I think maybe there's some lessons for communication, but I can't see any reason to delay the AGM. That would be stupid given that we're all here. And it very rarely happens that we're all in the same space. So yeah, I certainly support continuing with the AGM on the basis of a vote and not wasting any more time on this. It seems counterproductive.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, please. Huh? No? Okay. It's okay.
No, I say that if it was not a planned mistake, it was a human mistake not to have issued I think there is no problem.
It was completely unintentional.
Of course, if unintentional, so let's go ahead.
You know, you have to take into account that we are all volunteers here, and also that also staff who helps us are very busy, not just with Vienna NGC, but hundreds of other things. So I think we as a civil society should be a little bit more flexible with this stuff. But we understand that this is an irregularity. We will definitely address it. And the future board will definitely address it. Also some other concerns in the complaint by one NGO, one of our members. So we will not keep them. We will not try to escape from this responsibility. So I, as a chair, also take the full responsibility for these irregularities. So if somebody is to blame, it's me, as a chair of Vienna NGC. Jamie, please.
Thank you, Mate. Yeah, I want to, for what it's worth, echo what others have said. It seems it's a mistake, and we're all here, and I think we should just go ahead. And yeah, that's for what that's worth. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think that there is okay, Sana.
I think, Matthew, if the General Assembly has the power to prove anything, then maybe the members agree to conduct the meeting. So I think the members have the powers. Why not we conduct the meeting? Because as George said, the members travel around the globe and came here, and not in future, might be next year they come here. So then we can wait for 1 year. So it's better we conduct the meeting today.
Okay, thank you very much. I really like this spirit of unity here in this room. Should be more often, this spirit of unity. Some other issues, but okay, let's discuss this maybe later. So, okay, then I want to put this on the vote. So let's first ask if anybody is against to continue with the AGM today as planned. So it will be easier to count probably. So nobody is against. So I suppose we all agree that we continue. So now officially the AGM is open, so we can start with official agenda. And we already did all registration. Thanks to nominations committee and Sarah, we were able to process this activities quite quickly, much quicker than last year. As you remember, we struggled a lot last year with this process. Cool. Okay. Then I want to put this agenda, which you can find it also on the website of Vienna NGOC, and you receive it also this link by email. I put it on the agenda to adopt the draft agenda. So this is not a draft agenda. So when we confirm it is a final agenda. So if somebody disagree with this agenda, no. So we all agree. So agenda is adopted. We also have to approve the minutes of the last meeting, which was held on 16th of March 2024. I suppose that the year is wrong here. So the draft minutes, you can find draft minutes also on the website, and you receive the link to the minutes, and it has been circulated around. So the committee is invited to review the draft and propose any amendments for consideration and approve the agreed draft as a correct record of the meeting. So I would like to ask anybody if you have any amendments to propose. No? So the minutes from the last meeting are approved as well. And then item number 4, apologies for absence. We don't have any apologies for absence, so we can quickly proceed with item number 5 about membership. So I would like to ask Asia and Penny as secretary and deputy secretary to address this item.
Thank you, Mati. So it is quite encouraging to see interest of the people in Vienna NGO committee of drugs, and the interest is growing in we are having a lot of interest in the Vienna NGO committee on drugs, and we have seen that during the past few years, our membership has increased in different regions. So so far we have, as for December 2024, VNGOC has 414 member organizations from 106 countries across the world. And you can see across, if we are able to see the slides? No? Yeah. So you can see across number of organizations from each region, and that is mentioned on the slide. For the next slide, I'll ask Penny to explain. Thank you.
Thanks, Sazia. Hi, everybody. This year, or since January 2024, we've as the board, we've welcomed 43 new member organizations from 34 different countries. So great to see high levels of members signing up from the African region, and strong numbers from Asia and North America as well. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Just maybe before we continue with item number 6 about the annual report, I have to inform you that we submitted the oral statement for item number 9 at the plenary. So if you see me running out of the room, it's our turn to address the plenary. So I will leave and give the floor to the Vice Chair, Esteban, to continue with the chairing of the AGM. Just to be sure that I'm not running away from the AGM, I'm just running to the plenary to address the plenary on behalf of Vienna and also New York NGO Committee on Drugs. So the next item is about annual report. So Esteban, begin with us. Begin with annual report. So, and you see the.
They're okay. You can find there in the QR code the chance to accede to the annual report where we have been publishing all the activities that we've been developing during the year, all the activities that we've been participating during the year. And now Matej will tell us about every month that we've been working.
Yeah, you will see in the report that we were really busy. Maybe also because of the high-level segment in March, together with the regular CND. So we had much more opportunities as a civil society to be engaged at different events, side events, at plenary. So that's why the numbers are impressive, I would say. But nevertheless, we will try to keep these numbers as well in the future. We are a little bit afraid of shrinking space for civil society due to funding cuts. That might influence also our engagement at the different UN levels and with different UN agencies. But we will try to do our best to be involved as much as possible, also like last year. So as I already mentioned, we had a quite significant input as a civil society at for the CND midterm review and the high-level segment. We also published a global civil society report as an input to the midterm review. And then also we're very active with different side events and including being involved in high-level events. We conducted 5 informal dialogues with different UN agencies, and also we organized an annual general assembly for our members. Next slide. Sarah, next slide. I already explained this one, yeah. Then it's quite traditional that we also organize with INCB civil society hearing. We select speakers for this hearing as well. So this is a traditional activity together with INCB, besides informal meeting with INCB president during the CND. So we are quite, I would say, could be better, but I think with INCB we're quite well connected, and they're always very supportive to civil society engagement. Then we were active also during the CND event on June 26, when the World Drug Report was published. So we addressed as a Vienna NGOC the audience at the event. And we also selected 3 civil society speakers, and me as a chair addressed, and we also have 3 civil society speakers during the event addressing the attendees at the event. In July, we organized as well a traditional webinar with the help of UNODC Civil Society Unit and Vienna NGOC about the World Drug Report. And the World Drug Report was presented to our membership. This is also a very traditional activity, and we will absolutely continue to inform our membership about the outcomes and the results of World Drug Report. So next slide. Also, we organized several activities during the year. And thanks to our generous donors, especially I would like to express a gratefulness and a thankfulness to our member CCSA from Canada. They provided substantive funding, which was usually not the case in previous years. Really thank you very much for this funding. And also thanks to Slovenia and Portugal. They also provided substantial funding. So we were able to organize regional consultations before the midterm review. And thanks to CCSA funding, we were able to be active at the ISOP conference in Thessaloniki and organizing our own workshop. We also selected many speakers for thematic discussions in autumn, for both thematic intersessionals in November. And also we organized in-person Vienna NGOC board meeting in December during the December thematic discussions, and CND reconvened. So this is, and we also, next slide, please. I also want to highlight the importance of the work of our ad hoc working groups. Most of them are regional working groups, and especially Asia Pacific working group is continues to be very active, the most active working group in Vienna NGOC. And also we organized a special event, special meeting of youth working group during the CND last year. And we really want to revitalize next year or this year already also Latin American ad hoc working group. And as you may know, we actually transformed African ad hoc working group into African Civil Society Platform on Drugs, which is directly connected with the African Union Commission, but we still provide. We are still a kind of secretariat for the African Civil Society Platform, and we help them to organize themselves as good as possible, so they can provide quality discussions and outcomes for their members. So for the CSO speakers, I would like to give the floor to Vice Chair Esteban to continue with the report.
Thank you. The next slide, please. The next one. As you can see, in 2024, we had several invitations for calling for speakers. As you see, we had in total 241 applications. We invite all of you to be following these invitations. It's really important to be present in these opportunities. The applications came from 62 countries, Africa being the leader, yeah. And between those 241 applications, 97 were from women, yeah. The next one, please. And you may ask, how is this selection of speakers made? It's like, say, we like this one, we like that one. No, we apply a selection criteria that goes related to relevance, to the expertise of the applicant, the range of the views that are included, the focus of the presentation, the geographical and the gender balance too, and the mode of delivery, present or this and right. The next one. And you can see that after applying this criteria, we can see a balanced selection, right? Because we can see all of the regions represented, and we can see a real balance in gender. And you can see that 16 persons delivered their statement in this selection, right?
In person.
In person. Next one.
So that's it. Okay, thank you very much, Esteban. The committee is now invited, after review, after this presentation of the report, invited to approve the Vienna NGOC annual report and reflect on the activities for 2024. So I would like to give the floor to members, maybe to comment or to say something about the activities. So, no, I don't see any audio.
Thank you so much. Just a very brief comment on Latin America. I think we can see that maybe we are falling short on members from this region. There might be several reasons, but just to notice about that. Maybe the distance, travel cost, English language, but there might be barriers that can be overcome to engage more, because there are many NGOs, civil society from Latin America struggling with a lot of drug problems. Maybe that I just wanted to raise this issue.
Thank you for your proposal. We will definitely take into account. So the next board should address this issue with revitalizing this Latin American working group, so that it's more connected. And to overcome these language barriers as well, this is important to maybe give the floor to our Latin American organizations in Spanish language. So probably, Esteban, you are the best possible person as a vice chair. You will still be here for another year, at least, to take this responsibility to revitalize the Latin American working group. So if you are,
I assume the responsibility. Thank you.
Okay. So we will take care of this to revitalize this Latin American working group. So anybody else want to discuss the report? Esbjörn? Yes.
I just want to say congratulations to the board when it comes to the process of taking the speakers, because it has been very transparent, and you have a matrix that we can follow as online and so on. So you have done a very good work, and I know that the board seldom get this kind of positive replies, but I would like to say this time you have done very good job. Thank you.
Thank you very much, including Sarah. Sarah is the most important in this case to provide these metrics. Thank you very much. No, we will repeat to her, no problem. We will not forget to repeat that. So yeah, it's our job is really as a board to come up with really balanced list of speakers. Sometimes we really struggle because we have too many applications, really quality applications, and it's difficult to decide about which speaker would be the most appropriate for particular topic, for particular item in the agenda. So we try to do our best to select really in a balanced way. To all regions' perspectives are included, gender and so on. So and we will try to improve this process as well. Yeah. Yeah. Sarah, just to explain, thanks to you, we have a good matrix and good information about speaker selection process and the numbers. So thank you very much for these efforts. So, okay, so yeah, another.
Is the approach that you have taken with Africa, is that something that we could do with the other continents? That would seem to be a really ideal model when you get some kind of critical mass, or at least to develop leadership from that continent. So is the design possibly to use that with the Americas, with Asia? We all get the idea.
Yeah, we are actually using quite traditional model in Europe, because there is a European Civil Society Forum on Drugs, which is an expert group to the European Commission. And we know, especially those who we are involved in this civil society forum, that this infrastructure is very valuable for civil society organizations to communicate with European institutions. So when we were challenged by African Union's Commission to do something about it, we actually presented this model, and they accepted this model as a good model also for Africa. And then we established, based on existing African ad hoc working group, we then transformed it into African Civil Society Forum on Drugs, which has direct contact with the African Union's Commission. About the other regions, as you can imagine, we always try to connect with the political infrastructure. In Americas, we have Organization of American States and CICAT responsible for this, for drug areas. And Organization of American States has also an infrastructure for civil society, so-called coalitions. And there is American Coalition on Drug Policy as well. So there is an infrastructure for civil society organizations, and we are partnering with this coalition as well in several activities, especially during the activities of so-called Impact Coalition for Future Drug Policy, which was established last year in Nairobi at the Civil Society Conference, and also organized 2 side events, one last year during the Action Days of Summit of the Future, and side event at CND this year, this week as well. So we try to build these regional infrastructures, and we try to find a political infrastructures which we can connect to. In Asia, it's more difficult because we have several political infrastructures, and we are thinking about the best approach how to create this kind of connection with those political infrastructures. But definitely, I know our job, one of the priorities for us is also to not just the global infrastructure, but also those regional infrastructures which are closer to our members. And probably even more important for many smaller NGOs than the Vienna NGOC and what is happening here at the UN level. So I hope I explained and answered to your question. So do we have any other intervention regarding the annual report? Yeah, Nazli?
Thank you, Mate. Hello, everybody. My name is Nazli Maksudi. I'm chair of the New York NGO Committee on Drugs. And I just thought I'd take this opportunity to just comment a little bit on the annual report because, of course, it highlighted so much of the excellent work that we did together across our 2 sibling committees. So just really grateful for the ongoing collaboration. I think these high-level moments like the midterm review in 2024 are always hallmarks of collaboration across our 2 committees. Some who've been involved in this space in a long time will remember around the UNGAS, the Civil Society Task Force. That was, of course, a really instrumental collaboration and continued for the 2019 segment as well. So really happy to see that ongoing collaboration. The Impact Coalition as well being something that is really continuing along with other partners and builds upon the great work that we did in preparation and in publication of that global civil society report for the midterm review. And of course, in looking through your annual report, I'm reminded of the other great work we did together, things like around the Global Coalition to Address Synthetic Drug Threats, the civil society hearing we held, the written input. So much work by all of the board members across our committees and Sarah, of course, and the Latin America Working Group, which you mentioned. I think that's, of course, been a joint initiative across our 2 committees. Much of our membership is based in Latin America. So it's a region that we have a lot of reach and a joint initiative really to make sure that we can have the broadest reach into that region and bring in as many people as we can. So I'm of the same mind as you that it's time to revive that and make sure that we have engagement from that region. And yeah, just the ongoing efforts across our committee to ensure civil society inclusion. And that's exactly what Mate will speak about on behalf of both of our committees in the SDG agenda item 9 when he runs out of the room or the 2 of us run out together. So expect to see more collaboration across our 2 committees. And yeah, thank you so much from the NYNGOC for the ongoing collaborative work. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think the idea of Impact Coalition, actually, it is to build this infrastructure of collaboration between different committees, different coalitions which exist in different regions. We need to connect all of them together and try to find a common ground for our future work. So any other interventions regarding the annual report? No? Then I invite committee to approve the Vienna NGOC annual report for 2024. Anybody against? No. So annual report is adopted. So now we have another item, which is also very, very important. The financial report for the 2024. And also it will be preceded by item number 8 about the budget. So Trixie and Augusto, please take the floor and introduce the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Matej, and hello to everyone. To give an overview of the accounts and the audit, you can see it on the slides, of course, and I won't read out everything. Just noting that there is a typo. So this is the 2024 budget that you are seeing, but the budget has been very consistent that the committee has planned over the last couple of years. A bigger difference this year is additional funding that the board has raised for activities under the Impact Coalition that Matej has also mentioned already before. Thank you. That's very helpful to be pointing at. So maybe just give a moment to everyone in the room to review the accounts, and I do have to note that we had two appointed auditors from the membership, volunteers, Nate Lando from Virginians Against Drug Violence, and Sana Ullah Ratore from the Pakistan Youth Organization, who have already reviewed these accounts. Nate, we know, is not here. They were not able to travel to Vienna this year, and I don't think they are online either because they live on the West Coast, but they have confirmed that they approve these accounts. Sana, can I ask you to confirm again if this looks good? Yep.
Okay, thank you very much, Trixie. As one of the two editors, I, Sana Ullah Ratore from Pakistan, and Mr. Nate, elected as editor in the last General Assembly. And Ms. Sarah shared the VNGOC accounts with us through emails. And this year, Mr. Nate not able to make to Vienna, but he sent his review report through the email that it's looked good. And after that, I also conducted a thorough review of the accounts and also agree with Mr. Nate. And I recommend that the General Assembly approve the VNGOC accounts. It's now up to the members and General Assembly.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I think I will hand it back over to Matej to consider it approved.
Okay. Thank you very much. I would also like to repeat again that thanks to our donors, especially from our members from Canada, you can see how we actually increased the budget. And thanks to this budget, we were really able to be active during the whole year and organize a lot of additional activities which were initially not planned for this year. And we hope that we can repeat the same financial numbers, statistics also this year. And because there will be a lot of things going on, a lot of important political gatherings like SDG in New York in July and Social Development Summit in Qatar in November, and Crime Congress early next year. So there will be a lot of opportunities and for civil society organizations to participate. So with similar budget like this year, we would definitely be able to be proactive and present there at those events and contribute to those events, especially as an impact coalition on drug policy. So we could still keep this momentum of collaboration between different and civil society infrastructures from different regions of the world to keep this momentum alive also in 2025. So I would like to invite members of the committee to approve the financial report for 2024. So is anybody against the report? No. So thanks. The financial report is adopted by the General Assembly. So we can then proceed to item number 8 and present the budget for 2025.
Yeah, I just jump in for the appointment of a new auditor for
Discussing questions.
next year.
Oh, this is item number 9.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody. So in order we can fulfill next year the wishes that and all the commitments that we have in 2025 and that Matej just mentioned, and also the strategic plan for the next year for the board, future board, to continue to support civil society engagement at meetings of the UN Commission on Narcotics, Drugs, CND, continue to call for full, meaningful civil society participation across all international debates and processes concerning drug policies and related matters, continue to encourage a global, balanced and strategic NGO voice in the debates of drug policies and related issues, and to effective and efficient management and promotion of the committee, and I believe much more work will happen during the next year. So we hope during 2025 we can have an income on membership fees 10,000 euros, and currently and on our reserves as from grants we have 7,000 euros, and then you can see some empty areas, some empty squares over there. We hope next year can be fulfilled with more grants. And also expenditure, we hope that we will be, the next year will be the expended 70,000 euros on the working groups, around 2,000 euros. Sorry, I'm going to say Patakish. Events and workshop, webinars, 5,500 euros, board meeting, 5,000, bank fees, 1,500, and office expended 3,000 euros, a total 17,000 euros, so it will be even. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Augusto. So, does anybody wants to comment or review or say something about the budget? No? Okay, I agree with Augusto. We still hope that this is not the final budget for 2025. Although if we keep this budget, I think we can still assure at least that the necessary participation of civil society organizations in regular events like thematic discussions, World Drug Report launch, and some other activities during this CND as well are covered with this budget. But still, as Augusto said, we hope that we can do more. We are capable to do more, and we look forward to receive some additional grants in the near future. Okay, so if there is if there are no comments or additional suggestions, then I invite committee to approve the budget for 2025. Is anybody against the planned budget? No. So the budget for 2025 is approved. And now we should go back one slide back. And for this year, we need to appoint new auditors. I think ideally would be 2.
To volunteer?
Volunteers, yeah, we need volunteers. Musa from Jordan is volunteering.
And me.
Okay. Gabriela and Musa. Yes? Okay, good. thank you very much. Membership is invited to confirm the auditors. So is anybody against 2 volunteers for auditors? No? So then congratulations, you are approved from the membership to be our auditors for 2025. So thank you very much. Then the item number 10, it's about UNODC update. Unfortunately, the head of civil society unit. Oh, you're here. So I was just informed that we have to skip this item. Okay, no problem. Mirela, please, the floor is yours.
I know there is not much to inform about update of UNODC because you're all following the commission. So anything related to drug, there's no need to update. But maybe, as you mentioned, the Congress and the Congress on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice, which is one subsidiary body of the sister commission to the CND, the Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice. There has been a series of preparatory meetings to this Congress. 2 took place already, one in Bangkok in January and one in Costa Rica for Latin America. As you were speaking about Latin America, it was a great opportunity, and we had some funding from Canada to allow not from the Canadian Centre of Substance Abuse, but from Canada, to allow the participation of civil society in this preparatory meeting, which is crucial because the preparatory meeting is where the report that comes out will serve as a draft for the declaration. So that was very timely, very useful. Unfortunately, we have no more funding, and so the coming 3 regional consultation, it will be at least more difficult to follow, though we will have one, as one is in Europe. It will be at the end of March, 25th of March. We will have something on the 24th of March. But this is also an opportunity for the European NGOs, because we know that the nexus between drug and crime is very close. It's also corruption. This year in December there will be the conference of the party to the UN Convention Against Corruption, which will take place in Qatar. So also an idea for those who would like to, who can travel and attend. It's important because we know that it's because of corruption that so much drug trafficking is happening now. We are hoping to continue to be able to serve the Vienna NGO committee, especially with the help of Sarah. But as many of you know, the situation, at least also for our unit, having lost one of our major donor, is not easy, but we will strive. We continue to be optimistic. And good luck for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you, Mirela, for the update. And just to inform the membership, we were really already active this week regarding these funding-related issues. So we are working together to assure funds to keep our project manager, Sarah. You can all imagine what would happen if we lose Sarah. I would probably be the last one who would switch off the light and leave. I think that at least 99% of all activities would not be possible without very great support of civil society unit and especially Sarah. So we will do our best in the next couple of months to assure the continuation of funding by the same donor, or to find a replacement for this project donations to keep Vienna NGOC active as much as possible. So I would say that probably for the next board, this is a #1 priority. #1 priority for sure. We will first at the first meeting of the new board, the board will definitely discuss this issue as well. Okay, thank you, Mirela, for update. So we will now proceed with the item number 11, which means that the board will leave the stage and the nominations committee will come to the stage, and because it is about NGO board elections, and at least 3 board members, no, 2 board members are in conflict of interest, so we need to we stay away from the stage, and we leave the space to the nominations committee to take over the task for the item number 11. So thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Stephanie Strutner. I'm the CEO of the Provincial Alliance of Tennessee from the United States, representing the nominations committee today, and we have an update for you. Just for the record, the nomination committee's role is to review nominations and propose a slate of candidates for consideration to the board that offers balance from geographical regions, gender diversity, and also thematic perspectives. In 2025, our committee began meeting in early January to finalize the 2025 nominations process. The call for nominations went out to the membership in February, and then after that closing date, the call for nominations was reopened for the deputy treasurer position only, since no nominations were received for that position. This year was a particularly slow year for nominations, and there were very few received. And so for members in good standing who were nominated, there were 2 candidates nominated for the position of chairperson. There was 1 person nominated in good standing for the deputy secretary position, and then there was 1 person in good standing nominated for the deputy treasurer position. 1 candidate since has withdrawn their nomination for chairperson, leaving the nominations committee with a pretty easy task this year from an election standpoint. So the nominations committee respectfully requests the VNGOC members in good standing to strategically consider participating in the nominations process next year and in future years. But today, since we have an uncontested ballot, we request that the membership approve the candidates by acclamation. And so, Sarah, is the slide ready for the names, or was that already up there? Maybe I missed it. So for the chair position, Mate Kosir, again, as our chair. For the deputy secretary, deputy treasurer, again, Augusto. and then as well as eBay Christinogus. So thank you all to our slate. And with seems like no dissent, this slate is elected by acclamation. So thank you all for your participation today, and thanks to the nominations committee.
Yeah, if it's possible or not. So everybody is finished.
We are going to the board again. You can ask them.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, thank you very much. On behalf of new elected board members, I would like to thank you for the trust. I had some speech prepared, but obviously it was no need for it. But I would still, first of all, I would like to thank Penny Hill, for her service. She has been a very valuable member of the board, so we learned a lot from her, and especially me personally, because sometimes we need also some a critical overview about what is happening in the board. So she was the one who reminded us all the time that we should be accountable for what we do and how we do it. And thanks, Penny, for your advices. We will do our best to take them into consideration. So there are already some of them on the agenda for the first board meeting for sure. And also, I would like to say that the new elected board will definitely focus as first priority to receive additional funding, not just for the civil society unit and for keeping Sarah as our project manager, but also for our continuous proactive work in different political fora and to organize as many events and provide as many as possible opportunities for civil society organizations to contribute to different drug policy discussions at different levels, not just here in Vienna, but also elsewhere, where drug policy is one of the key areas of discussion. We will also try to connect better with UN agencies, at least with some of them which we are not so well connected. So this will also be one of, at least my personal priority as a chair of Vienna NGOC. And there is also another proposal based on several discussions we had this week with Vienna NGOC members, with some of them, that for those who don't know, there were some interruptions also within the Vienna NGOC, which we have to deal with in the near future, and to bring back this spirit of collaboration and consensus as much as possible, because we should find as many common grounds as possible for collaboration within the Vienna NGOC, and these processes have been interrupted a little bit in the future, and we will definitely put a lot of efforts to bring this spirit of collaboration back to Vienna NGOC. And my proposal is, and I hope that also other board members agree with me, that we establish the so-called advisory working group, which would consist of one member from each perspectives we cover, namely prevention, harm reduction, treatment, recovery, drug policy reform, and access to essential medicines. Those 6 areas are the key areas which Vienna NGO committee covers. And it would be great that for each area we have, each perspective, we have one member in this advisory working group to discuss and propose some guidelines and recommendations for the future work of Vienna NGOC, with the purpose to bring this spirit of collaboration back to our platform. Because if we lose this spirit, we will only harm ourselves in relationship with UN agencies and other important fora. So this is my proposal as a new re-elected chair. If not today, we can also discuss about these priorities which were introduced here today, but especially for this advisory working group, some volunteers could already say yes, they wish to be part of this working group, but we can also postpone this decision and communicate with membership and then decide about this working group later on. So I would like to give the floor to the members, maybe to discuss, or maybe also first new board members, maybe to comment or to say something about these priorities, because it's not only me. I'm just the chair. I'm just one among 6 members of the board. So of course, other board members have also a lot to say in this case. It's not just me to decide about priorities, but it's a board decision about it. So please, I would first like to give the floor to board members if they have something to add. No? Then I would like to give the floor to members to discuss a little bit this future priorities and maybe add some new ones if you think we have to put some other priorities on the agenda. Steve, yes, please.
Hello, thank you, and congratulations. Slightly strange election, but congratulations all the same. I think that one of the things that's been, while we were going through the nominations committee process, there were lots of discussions, and it struck me that the VNGC and the elections in particular had become needlessly politicized and kind of polarizing and divisive in a way that doesn't really reflect what the committee is and what the board is supposed to do. This is not a policy-making entity. It doesn't take policy, as far as I understand, doesn't take policy positions on anything. It's essentially a functional committee for enabling dialogue between civil society and the various UN mechanisms. And to that extent, it's not, and I think the problem was when you get to the elections, people were sort of like, you were voting for drug law reform or prevention or harm reduction or whatever it was, whatever your particular thing is. And that's not what the elections weren't that. It wasn't like an election on a policy platform or a policy issue at all. The point of the board is to be representative of the broader community and enable dialogue with the UN mechanism. That is its stated goal, not to be some kind of sort of gladiatorial sort of arena for deciding whether one particular policy position on something is better than another one. And I feel like that something got lost in the sort of election shenanigans, that people thought they were just voting on policy issues rather than a functional committee to fulfill a specific task, which is enabling civil society of all different stripes in a balanced way to be represented in these various committees. And so I think if there was issues with the elections, for example, the lack of people standing, you probably will notice there are certain groups, if you like, who are not here today, or they, and I think there was it reflected as disillusionment by certain people, not that they were losing arguments about policy, but that the election was kind of, especially when the slate was very much designed and agreed by everybody to be a process of ensuring balance, and then the slate was kind of ignored or overruled, and it all got very, forgive me, rather childish and conspiratorial, and WhatsApp groups and all this kind of nonsense. These were never debates about policy, and there weren't elections on policy issues. It was about getting a balanced board to represent the interests of everybody, and I feel something is lost. I feel like it's great that that different perspectives can be in the same room, and it should be about collaboration and dialogue and information sharing. It shouldn't be around polarization and division and sort of conspiratorial this, that, and the other. And it felt like the elections have kind of pushed things in that direction in a way which was really unhelpful. So I would urge VNGOC members and particularly around the elections, to remember what the Vngoc is and what it does. And it is not a policy forum. It's great that we can all come together and share ideas, but the policy forum is happening over there. It's the CND. It's not this. This isn't what that is. This is we can discuss things, and that's great that we all come together and do that. But this is not a policy forum. Elections are not on policy positions. And I think the more we imagine that that's what it is, or that the votes become that's what it is, then people will get disillusioned and they will drift away from the VNGOC, because it feels like it's, the elections are not proceeding as they're supposed to. And it ceases to function as a broad consensus entity anymore, and it starts to be something else. And I fear for the future of the VNGOC if we can't get our heads around this idea that it is not a policy forum and we are not voting on policy positions. And the elections for the board in particular should not be a proxy for policy debates. We're not electing a president of a country or a party political. That's not what it is. So the fact that we did all this work, I've been on the nominations committee twice, and we did all the work on the slate, and then it sort of kind of feels like it's all for nothing if people either don't stand for election or ignore the slate when it happens. So this is a somewhat frustrated speech, but I hope people, ultimately it's a positive one where we should be talking about policy and ideas, but the elections and the VNGOC specifically is not that. We can talk about it here, but we talk about it over there in the policy forums, not at the VNGOC. It's not a policy forum, doesn't take policy positions, and the elections are not about policy. And the more we make it about that, the whole thing starts to unravel, and we get the sort of chaos and nonsense that we had with this last election, where basically no one's standing even, and people aren't even turning up to the meeting. So let's try and rebalance and remember what this committee is, what it does, and maybe we can genuinely move forward in the spirit of collaboration and avoid some of the sort of polarization, division, and frankly, childishness of the last couple of elections. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Steve, for your contribution. That's exactly why I'm proposing this advisory working group to come out with some common sense consensus about how we are going to proceed and bring back this spirit of collaboration. So that's the main purpose of this proposal. And I hope it will be established and come up with some good ideas how we can do it.
And thank you, Sarah. She's the only person who's completely clean in all of this discussion. She's just a jewel beyond price, and I hope that you don't lose your job in the cull. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you very much. So anybody else who want to? Stig-Erik, yes, please.
Yes, I don't always agree with Steve on policy issues, but I agree with him here. I think you're absolutely right. Of course, the slate is always a recommendation, but it's based on some sort of collaborative spirit, and it was intended to be an aid in creating this collaborative spirit. And I hope that will be the future for the Vienna NGO Committee.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? No? So then we will start, as a board, we will start the process of inviting members to appoint their own people to this advisory working group. We have to figure out how to do it, so that procedure is as smooth and simple as possible. But we will definitely try to have an advisory board with all perspectives included equally in discussion and developing this proposal to bring spirit of collaboration back to Vienna NGOC. So thank you very much for support and for the trust. Yeah, Rogers, yes? You catch the last second.
Yeah. The last comment has taken me aback. Chair, thank you for leading this for the last 2 years and the board. I agree with Chris's comments. But earlier on, we had noted that because you have chaired with your board very well, there has been a balanced presentation of ideas. And Mr. Esbion alluded to that and said, thank you so much, because now everybody is fairly represented. Whether prevention, whether demand, whether harm reduction, all people have been able to submit their views. And actually, there has been no problem. I don't know where the fire is coming from. But I think Chris also contradicted himself very well when he said people did not stand. So I don't know whom he's blaming, because if they have opened, they have invited people for nominations, people don't show up. Then you come in the meeting and say, you've taken one side. Of course, we may not like the people who come in leadership. Sometimes we want our other people, but if you don't stand, if you don't compete. So for now, I don't think there's a problem. The advisory group will help to guide. I think we are doing well. If you can balance that, everybody's idea is presented, which you are doing, and everybody commends you for that. You've been bringing everybody on board, and people submit, all ideas have been presented. So, Mr. Chairman, you are doing very well. We want to congratulate you. Continue that spirit for the next 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution. We'll take it into account as well in our discussions.
I would just like to say thank you to the last comment, because
who is speaking? Can you present yourself?
Silvia Franke.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I also don't see the reason why there is so much argument here. I would just like to state that drug policy starts at the grassroots level. And we're not on the grassroots. We're somewhere in between. But it's not a thing that should be reserved to the very top. So I think we all are agents for, at least for the people that we work for. And I mean our clients. So we have an agenda and we are not neutral. And this is totally okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Silvia. Okay, thank you. So nobody else want to comment? No? Okay, great. Then we proceed with the agenda, and we need to appoint a new nominations committee. So we, as always, ask for volunteers. I think if you are willing to step in as a member of nominations committee, please raise your hand. And also don't forget to send the email, because sometimes we can miss some hands, and then we don't want to forget anybody who is willing to work in the nominations committee. And we need nominations committee for the election process for the
nominations process and so on. So this is a mandatory committee of the Vienna NGOC. So please raise your hands who would like to volunteer. Yes, Sarah, can you write all the names? Say the name out loud. Yeah.
Stephanie Strutner.
Edward Carlson.
Organization?
TCA, World Federation also. We're several organizations that I'm with, so.
Peter Moilanen, please.
Okay. You agree? Okay, okay. Look, I have to ask. She's not Peter Moilanen.
Paulo Thyssen from Acura.
George?
Why not?
I have to look for Sarah so that she has to see. Jojo Ching Slamchal Foundation.
Steve, please.
Steve Rolls.
Okay, I'll join. Musa, Georgian Anti-Drug Society.
I need to ask first, is it allowed that the auditor is also part of the nominations committee? Yeah? We don't know. We are not lawyers, so we don't know. But we will try to figure out if there is a conflict of interest, you as an auditor.
No, we did that 2 years back.
Okay, then should be fine.
Yep.
But you never know. So how many of members we have now? 7. That's a good number. Okay, then we have a nominations committee. It's approved. So thank you very much for your. It's also a voluntary job and it's a lot of work for the nominations committee. So thank you very much for putting your names on the list of nominations committee. So it's confirmed for elections in 2025. So any other business? I think we already discussed about the funding cuts. So Oriol, do you want to address this issue? We were discussing about this week. If it's still relevant for you?
Well, maybe we are a bit tired already. Just highlighting that a lot of organizations, probably also members of the VNNG committee, are having real difficulties or to travel, or they have been, the funding cut. So this creates another scenario. Also, maybe not having other candidates for each of the positions that should be elected today. Maybe it's also a symptom of that, not only this reason, but just the funding issue, I think, is a very relevant one today for all of us.
Thank you very much. That's why we also put funding as a priority of the work of the board. And this topic will be addressed as soon as possible by the board. So we need to put all our efforts to address this issue as a board. So thank you very much, Oriol. So obviously we're all tired already. There's one more day to go tomorrow, so we should still have some energy in the room. So yes, good. Okay, so if we agree, that's it. We addressed all important topics as a Vienna NGO committee. And thanks for coming. Thanks for trust. And I hope we'll do our best to I don't know what to say in English. I don't know. It's okay. I'm also to make this right. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So see you in a. So see you in the hallways of CND tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.